Before you hit it.
I want to start with a little bit of context about you.
All right.
And what has brought you to Malta for this conference?
I got invited to speak. So if a lot of people invite me to speak, they like what I have to say. I usually say no, but nice place, a lot of heavy hitters here. I figured, my token launch is coming soon. I might as well actually accept the invite and enjoy the free stay and whatnot.
I'm glad you did. So token launch is coming soon.
Yeah.
What did you talk about at the conference?
A lot of people here are talking about their projects. They want to mix it up a little bit and say something nice about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin doesn't have anyone that actually can come out and say nice things about it on the payroll. This is not really a Bitcoin marketing foundation, right? So usually if someone's going to say something nice about Bitcoin, they've got a big bag of it and they want to see that bag go up in value. I have a big bag of Bitcoin. I want to see it go up in value, so I want to say nice things about it. That's like this token that I invented. We only give it out for free to Bitcoin holders. If you have other tokens, you can't get it for free, right? So I said after we breached the 20K top, very low price estimate, maybe a 60K. I don't think that we could exceed the 20K previous price top without going 3x past it. We've never done that before. I talked about how the Chinese Ponzi that owns 1% of Bitcoin now, unless they sold it, I think they still are having it, bought the 3K bottom. We rose in price 4.5x in about 4.5 months. And we did that because this Ponzi scheme was just buying up all the coins. It bought billions and billions and billions of dollars of coin through Huobi in China. And then the founders got arrested on the day of the 14K top. So it screwed the chart up. Everyone that was a technical analyst got terribly screwed because it didn't observe any resistance on the way up. None of the lines, none of the moving averages, it didn't care about anything. The RSI didn't care about anything, just kept going up, speculative FOMO, right? And then as soon as that disappeared, we had a, 4 months of dip now. But back in 2017, we went from 200 to 20,000, 100x return, with no dips over 40%, and none of them took longer than 34 days to resolve. Now we're in a dip of 45%, which is a deeper dip with a much longer resolution, and it's totally unrepresentative of how the market used to act. And then on the 50/200 day moving average cross, it's called death cross, the price pumped 40% because of China news, which is hilarious because Trump, when he says bad things about Bitcoin, he can't even get it to go down. It went up 10% when Trump said bad things. It went up when Mnuchin at Treasury said bad things. But when President Xi says a good thing, the price shoots through the sky. So now, as a technical analyst looking at charts and moving averages and trend lines and all the other tools and indicators you can use, they don't provide you the same level of accuracy when there's fundamental news that you're unaware of. People didn't front run President Xi's news, or you would see premiums and futures and premiums and options, and they were just reasonable. They were normal premiums, 1%. And nobody front ran that Ponzi scheme either. And the people in the West, we had no idea what was going on. I was the last guy to know about it, which means I'm barely qualified to tell you about the price now. If it's like a Chinese Ponzi is the game now, I don't speak Chinese, right? I just opened a Chinese branch where we have a Chinese rep and Chinese shirts, and we've translated the videos to Chinese. We have a Chinese page now, but that's brand new, right? So I'm new to that ecosystem. And you see a lot of people making price predictions, and you're like, you didn't know the president was going to tweet that, and you didn't know about the Ponzi scheme. You're not actually qualified to speak the price anymore. It's just a different game. It's really crazy.
Do you think it's just beginner's luck now with price movement and people are just going, if I just guess as many predictions as possible, one of them's about to come true?
Well, I try and tell people, you should 100%, so the project I made is to give people trustless interest, which means no more counterparty risk. If you give your money, if you're holding Bitcoin, you want to make a return on it, you've got to take risk. You've got to give it to an exchange, hope that they lend it out for a profit, hope that they give it back to you, hope that they don't get attacked. That's a lot of hope. And Bitcoin was designed to get rid of all that hope, to get rid of that, boy, I hope I get my money back crap, right? And the exchanges that make the most money are the ones that let you bet more money than you have, right? So if an exchange only makes 0.075% per transaction that you do, buying or selling, market buy, market sell, that means that if you bet your whole stack once, they only get 0.075% of it. Well, how can they get more of your money? Let you bet 100 times more money than you have, give you 100x leverage. Now you can take out a 100x larger size position and pay them 100x fees. So people think that this high leverage is good for them and healthy for them, when all it is the house multiplying its advantage against you. It's like going to the blackjack table at a casino and playing every single hand at the table. The casino loves that. That's extra customers right there because the odds are in their favor, right? So I'm trying to get people to stop trading because the vast majority of people lose all of their money. It does more than just lose you all your money. It loses you all your time. It crypto markets don't sleep, right? News is coming out constantly in every jurisdiction, and your price alarms keep going off. It will ruin your relationships, it will ruin your health, and cost you all of your money, and in the end, all you're doing is taking someone else's money. Even if you win, even if you're successful, what have you really done for the world? You've tortured the guy on the other side. I say, you know what? Instead of torturing that guy to get his money, why don't we build a product or a service that he wants to pay for, and who give you more money, right? So I would rather see people, my project's called Hex.win, and we're giving free tokens to Bitcoin holders. It's the first blockchain CD. You lock up your money, just like the bank. Top 3 product of the bank. Savings account, checkings account, time deposit, certificate for deposit, bonds. In every country, they give it a little bit different name. You lock up your money longer, you get a bigger interest rate. Nobody's doing it on the blockchain. It's a $7.2 trillion industry in Canada and the United States. It's the silliest thing I've ever seen. They're doing everything else imaginable in crypto. Tokenized diamonds, tokenized pets, like you name it, it's on the blockchain. But the third most popular product of the bank, not on the blockchain. Well, that's great. That's a great opportunity for me. I can't wait, right? So, yeah, don't trade, don't get wrecked. Get your free Hex. If you want to transform Ethereum into Hex, you can. So the most successful crypto project that ever launched, dollar-wise, it's called EOS. They made $4.2 billion. It's more than Satoshi. It's more than Brian Armstrong at Coinbase. It's more than Arthur at BitMEX. It's more than anybody those guys made by accepting Ethereum for their EOS tokens over 350 days. So that looks like a good idea. Now we accept Ethereum in our contract over 350 days for the Hex token. So we've got the free minting path, and we've got the transform Ethereum into Hex path. And then after the launch phase is over, it's most of this cool game theory stuff goes away. It's just trustless interest. It's just 3.69 inflation maximum per year. It's less than Bitcoin's ever had. And if only half of the people stake, then you get 7.6% or something like that. And if only 10% of the people stake, you're getting 40% interest, 36.9. And there's dark patterns built in. If you unstake late, you pay the stakers a penalty. If you end stake early, you pay the stakers a penalty. We've got all the tricks that banks use to become very wealthy. We let you be the bank. So it's awesome. I'm very, very excited.
You seem excited, and this actually seems like one of the most no barrier hurdled interviews I've done during the summit. You seem like you're just kind of being completely transparent with me and just kind of being really real. I want to ask you, during the summit, have you heard or spoke to any projects that have given you anything that maybe you disagree with, or anything that you found positive?
Well, it's very easy to find bad crypto projects. So I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've had tons of startups. My first business was car stereo store. My next business was search engine optimization, shopping carts, mortgages. I ended up with 150 employees. We did 60 million a year in sales. And it was just, I built it. And it took me about 2 years for each industry. And then I would do the next one. It's taken me a little bit longer in crypto because it's a little bit more confusing, right? Because usually I would already have my token launched maybe a year or two ago. Because software is hard. Like building software from scratch is extremely hard. Secure software, you got to get it audited. Every little thing has to be watched. So in the normal business world, most startups fail. Your success, like if you start a restaurant, your success rate is less than 5%. It's the absolute lowest success rate possible. So even if you're an honest actor, even if you're qualified, and even if you're in a business that does work, people eat at restaurants, right? You're still extremely likely to fail because business is hard, it's competitive. So in crypto, since it's a new industry, people do the wrong business with the wrong team, with the wrong incentives, they launch in the wrong time, in the wrong place, and it obviously doesn't work. Look at ICOs. ICOs raise hundreds of millions of dollars. And how many successful products came out of an ICO? One exchange came out of it, and I can't think of another actually successful ICO. I can think of one product that was successful out of those billions of dollars that were raised. Because the incentives were wrong, and the teams were wrong, and the businesses were wrong. And it doesn't mean that they were evil. Some of them were, I'm sure. But some of them weren't. It's just business is hard, right? And what's the best strategy for an ICO guy? The best strategy for an ICO guy is to get you to pay him up front all the money, and then tell you he's going to do a good job, and then go leave and start another one and get paid all the money up front. Because if he does the actual work, he's not making any extra money because he already got paid, right? So you see these ICO guys, they start a thing, and then they move on to the next thing. They start a thing, and they move on to the next thing, and they don't care about the old thing because they already got paid out. So you need incentive structure, right? Like there's a reason we have vesting periods in startups. There's a reason that you have golden parachutes that lock people into the company when you acquire another company for their employees, and you just don't see any of that in crypto. So, most of the startups in crypto are bad, and most of the startups in everything are bad. Like, I'll judge a startup contest, and I'll thrash everybody because like 2 out of 10 guys will be scammers, 4 out of 10 guys have no possibility of success. Maybe 1 out of 10 could make it, but not at scale. And maybe there's one that's good, right? So at this event, I just got done making fun of a scammer on stage that pretends to be Satoshi, right? There's a guy that, as his professional life, how he spends his time, is pretending to be someone, which is hilarious and probably not legal. I'm not sure if you can do identity theft on someone's pseudo-identity. I don't know. Like, if you steal someone's normal identity and get like a mortgage under their name, that's illegal. But if someone has like a public identity and then you assume his public identity, I'm not sure there's the same legal protections, but it's obviously not legit. It's not okay. It's not okay to pretend that you're George Washington that's founded America, and it's not okay to pretend that you're Satoshi that founded Bitcoin if you're not even a developer. That's not legit, right? So you can't say, I'm not a developer, my guys are developers, and then also say, oh yes, I'm also Satoshi. That doesn't make any sense, right? I met a guy here at the show who has a stack of business cards this thick. I'm not gonna tell you who it is. He has a stack of business cards this thick that he's been collecting from everybody. He's got a big chain, right? So my first business, I've got the service mark on this. This is the power to profit. It's a big fist crushing money. It's, funny and baller and gaudy and whatnot. And I wear it because I'm proud of my past. He's wearing a giant Bitcoin necklace. And we both have giant necklaces and we were comparing. And so we're at the bar and he's saying, hey, how much return on investment can you get me? I'm like, nothing really, that's not what I do. And he goes into blockchain.com and shows me a balance with 35,000 Bitcoin. And he's like, this is mine, how good can you do? Anyone that ever shows you their bank account balance is bullshitting you, 100%. No one is showing you their bank account balance, particularly no one that's wealthy, particularly no one that's crypto wealthy, right? Everyone that's crypto wealthy pretends they lost their coins in the voting accident. No one's showing your balance, right? So if you see a guy that's discongruent, he's got a stack of business cards and he's working real hard and he wants to meet you, and he pretends to have, several $100 million. Yeah, full of shit, right? So when you come to any business event, you're gonna have a lot of people that tell you a story to try and get your money out of you, right? That's what an ICO is, by the way. It's advanced fee fraud. They promise you something really big promises, and your brain says promises worth lots. So I give you a little bit less than lots now. Give me profit, please. And then the profit never comes, right? It's a form of advanced fee fraud. You can Wikipedia it.
I want to see you at our next event in Manila in
Okay.
June, because I think
All
I
right.
like what you have to say. I want you to judge some of our startup pitches. I think
I will
it's
thrash them.
refreshing to see someone so open with some startup and investor experience.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I feel bad that I didn't know what to ask you. I don't know how to interview.